channel. Today we're gonna do a Mother's Day special for my mommy.
Hello, my name is Gladys.
Today we'll be asking her some questions about my life. So let's get into the Q&A. So, number one, can you share your experience about my pregnancy, please?
Okay. When I was pregnant with Grace, I was quite sick. I had a time that I had to be in the hospital almost every week, because of one thing or the other. So it wasn't really an easy journey, with the pregnancy, and I felt like maybe the doctors were not really, they didn't understand when I was telling them I was having this severe pains here and there. I think they just thought maybe, oh yeah, because of your age and you're pregnant and it's just one of those things, one of those pains. But no, I think nobody took me serious, until towards the end of the pregnancy, and I was seeing another doctor that actually really understood where I was coming from, and he kept a close eye on me to see what was actually going on with me. And you know like I will summarize it, it wasn't an easy pregnancy.
Interesting. So the second question, what happened when I was born?
What happened when you were born?
Yeah.
A lot happened. Now, like I said, because of all the trauma and all the pains, all the sickness that I went through during the pregnancy, Grace came at the age of 33 weeks. So she was preterm baby, and she was actually very tiny. She was weighing, I think, 1.5 kg when she was born. And after that, she was breech when she was born. She came with her down instead of her head. And before she was born, they already told me that she was breech. So but when the water broke, the doctor said, well, we have no choice than to let her come since the water has broken. But they had all the pediatrician in place, and all the ICU staff and the incubator ready for her birth. And her birth was actually very easier than the pregnancy. She came very quick, just like that. So when she was born, they took her to the ICU upstairs where they put preterm babies. And from there I was a bit unwell as well, so I was kept in the hospital for quite some time. So I was going up, they would take me up to go see her where she was kept, and I will try and pump some breast milk for her to take, because so at that stage nobody actually knew what was wrong with her, because the doctor didn't tell me anything, because they were just thinking, oh, it's just one of the preterm cases and all that. So yeah, but after a while they realized so feed was not going through properly, because they were feeding her with the tube, but the feed was coming back. So that was when they now did a test. They realized she has severe reflux. That's what it's called. And some of the feed went in her lungs. So she had very bad pneumonia, and one of her lungs collapsed. So it was severe, and I was actually afraid at that time because she was so fragile. But that was what happened.
That was sad. Okay, number 3. How did you cope with the news the doctor told you?
Okay, the doctor told me quite many news about her medical issue. They told me she had problem with her, that she had hole in her heart. They told me she has hemorrhage, some blood on her right hand side of her brain. And they told me she has severe reflux. And they told me her lungs collapsed, and they don't know if she'll be able to survive. That was what they told me. But they told me a lot of things. But I am a Christian and I believe in God, so I kept praying to God that God should help me, because at that stage, not having family in Highland is a very tough one. So I prayed, and I know God, answered my prayers, because though it was difficult, it was a difficult journey to go through. I was actually going into depression at the time, but I had to pick myself up and say, look, Gladys, this child needs you, and you have to get yourself together and do whatever needs to be done to to keep going. So I just kept praying to God, and God to give me the power to be able to bear it, and to give me the power to be able to go through everything that my daughter was going through, because it was too much, like it was just too much. After that, she was transferred to Temple Street, because they believe in Temple Street she will get the best, all the experts are there to look after her. So you were transferred to Temple Street, and in Temple Street you went through a lot of tests and all that to check what was going on with you, and they decided to keep you in Temple Street.
Thank you. Okay. Number 4. How did you cope caring for me?
How did I cope caring for you?
Yeah.
Like I said, with the help of God, I coped. It wasn't easy. You spent first 18 months of your life in Temple Street. Did you know that? First 18 months when you were born. And I had to get a room in Temple Street where I sleep, because I have to express breast milk for you every 3 hours. Yeah, we're smiling about it now. It was a very difficult journey, and I just thank God to see you here beside me, and I'm just grateful, because I don't know how I did it myself, because I saw so many families that they got, like, they have their grandmothers, grandfathers, their aunties, their uncles, their nieces, everybody around them in the hospital, but it was always only me sitting down there reading my magazine and looking after my child in the hospital. It wasn't an easy task. So when she was discharged and she came home, I got a bit of help from HSC, and I had carers coming in during the day and nurses coming in during the night. But it was still difficult, because I couldn't go anywhere, because I couldn't leave the carers at home. Only with you, I have to be there with them, and I have to learn how to suction, how to do emergencies, how to look after your trachea and your feeding tube and everything. I have to, in fact, I actually absolutely become a nurse myself, trying to look after you.
Okay. Number 5. Why do I have a trachea tube and feeding tube?
Okay. Why do you have a trachea tube and feeding tube? Okay, yeah, you have a trachea tube because number one, you have no suck and swallow when you were born, so you have a lot of secretions coming out. Some of them were going in your lungs, and it was making you sick a lot. So the doctors decided the only way to help get rid of those salivas is to put a trachea in, so that we are able to go down with a tube to suction you whenever you need, and to help you breathe as well, because you needed one, and that actually changed everything, because with God, with the prayer and trachea, everything, all the news changed. Because before they said, and they were giving up, they said, oh, there's nothing they could do again about you. But after that, everything changed for good. And yeah, and you have a tube because you have severe reflux, like I said. So when you eat, everything is going back up, and some is going in your lungs. So they put a jejunostomy tube, gastrojejunostomy tube, that is what it's called, in you. So that will avoid the feed going in the stomach. Instead, it's going in the small intestine, to avoid the feed going into your lungs to make you sick. That's why you have the tube. Okay?
Okay. Last question. What is your advice for other moms that have children with special needs?
Okay, my advice to all the moms like me that have special needs children is just to stay firm and help your children as well. Talk to them, even if they have no, verbal, if they can't talk. Because I remember they told me Grace will not be able to talk, she will not be able to walk, she will not be able to do most of the things that she's doing now. But with the help of God and myself, I kept pushing her. I never relented on my daughter. I kept pushing. I kept doing exercises with her. I kept doing a lot of things with her. And that paid off. With God, that paid off. So all I'm going to say to all the parents that have special, and don't forget to look after yourself. I try as much as possible to look after my health. There was a time I was so sick. I was on like almost 16 types of medication, but it has calmed down a bit now because I'm trying as much as possible to care for myself while caring for Grace. It is not easy, but you just have to make time, get your me time out of all. All I will say is be strong for your children, help them wherever you can. Don't let anybody bring you down. Don't be ashamed to show your children to the world, and look after yourself. That's my advice.
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome.
So that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And thank you for my mommy for being here today.
You're welcome.
And thank you for carrying me for all my life.
You're welcome, baby.
Okay. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, like, and give this a thumbs up. And I hope you share this with all your friends. And I hope your friends shared it with their friends. Okay, that's it for now, folks. Bye.
Bye.